Hey ladies, Jason Julius here, and in this video I want to answer a common question that me and my wife hear a lot from women. And that question is, why can't I orgasm? Or why can't I orgasm during intercourse? Now, as you know, there's so much more to you than just the physical. In fact, female orgasms happen in your brain, not your genitals. Yes, physical touch is important, and we'll get to that. However, if you are unconsciously hitting the brakes, or you're disconnected from your body from past trauma or shame around sex, or you can't get to an alpha wave state, then it doesn't matter what kind of touch is happening. There just won't be any fireworks. And you'll be left thinking that you can't orgasm, or that you have low desire, or that you don't want sex as much as your partner, and things like that, which might actually not even be the case. So let's look at 5 reasons why you may not be able to orgasm right now. Now, number 1, you might be hitting the brakes in your mind. This is more and more common in our modern world. Women don't realize that as they journey down the sequence towards orgasm, while they're trying to hit the gas to get themselves there, they're also unconsciously hitting the brakes without even knowing it. Now, you may not realize it, but you have 2 networks contending in your mind. There's the pleasure network that has you seeking and moving towards pleasure, yet there's also the pain avoidance network that is there at the same time, scanning for unconscious threats to avoid. Your mind is reacting to these unconscious threats like a tiger that needs to be avoided. Whether you're feeling self-conscious about your partner going down on you, unconscious shame from when you were younger, or maybe you're having guilt from having pizza for lunch. I don't know. But this pain avoidance network is really good at getting in the way when you don't even realize it. And you can be hitting the gas and brake at the same time without even knowing it. Now, my wife and I designed a quiz to help you see how much you hit the gas versus how much you're hitting the brakes. This is a huge eye-opener for women, and you can check that out at elevatepassion.com. Okay, a second common reason women struggle to orgasm is that they're disconnected from their body. We live in a modern society that often still shames young women about sex being dirty, or that you might get pregnant, or that you might get an STI, and it instills feelings of disgust in young women towards their own vulva. Also, unfortunately, many women experience trauma or abuse, which only deepens this disconnect. Letting go of false beliefs and negative associations that are often dug deep into the unconscious part of the mind is key to letting go of shame and trauma that gets stuck in the body. Science has shown a correlation between higher emotional intelligence and higher frequency of orgasms. It's because women who create awareness to these unconscious blocks and use practices to free themselves from them are more likely to be able to navigate themselves to a full state of surrender and let go to orgasm. Highly orgasmic women are also often more emotionally and physically connected to their genitals and have liberated negative patterns in the mind so that they're able to discover their own unique pattern to orgasm and find that pattern very easily during sexual stimulation of all types. Following practices to release stored shame, trauma, and unconscious blocks goes a long way in being able to orgasm easier and more often. Now, the third reason that you might struggle to get to orgasm is not being able to get to an alpha wave state. Science is just beginning to understand that the state leading up to orgasm is very present. It's very much like a flow state or a meditative state. There's lots of alpha brainwave activity, and the thinking part of the brain quiets down. Yet our lives are busier than ever, so it can feel like a huge shift to go from a busy mind to a quiet mind in an instant. In fact, most women and men rarely practice quieting their mind on the regular. If you don't practice this mind muscle gets very weak, and it can feel almost impossible to get to an orgasmic state where alpha wave brainwaves flow with ease. That's why my wife and I designed a course around practices for getting to this alpha wave state with ease, when we feel like this is the missing link as to why so many women are frustrated, and we're blown away by how much this has been helping women realize their full orgasmic potential. Now, we have a free test called the stillness test so that you can see how easily that you can get to and maintain this alpha state. And you can try it for yourself over at elevatepassion.com. Now, notice I haven't talked about anything physical yet, and remember that's because orgasms happen between your ears, not between your legs. Yet obviously there's a lot going on physically as well. So our fourth common reason why women may find it difficult to orgasm is not enough stimulation to the clitoris during intercourse. Now your clitoris is like the central hub to orgasm. Stimulating it is the most common way that women masturbate, and clitoral stimulation is the most common way that women really orgasm overall. Yet it can be difficult to get enough stimulation to the clitoris from regular intercourse alone. In fact, there's a correlation between the distance the clitoris is from the vaginal opening and a woman's ability or inability to orgasm. The further the clitoris is from the vaginal opening, the less likely a woman will orgasm from just plain intercourse. Knowing this, it's important to either for you to stimulate your clitoris during intercourse, or you have your partner stimulate your clitoris during intercourse, or you modify your sex position so that your clitoris can get in on the action. And I have tips for doing just that during intercourse in my thrusting tips video on this channel. Now, our fifth reason for not being able to get to orgasm is a weak pelvic floor muscle. Now, we just talked about the clitoris not getting enough stimulation. However, you can also potentially have an orgasm from vaginal stimulation alone via either the G-spot or the A-spot, which can make it much easier to orgasm from just intercourse. Yet having a vaginal orgasm won't happen as easy if you don't have a strong pelvic floor. Doing Kegel or other pelvic floor exercises has an amazing benefit in that for many women, it begins to awaken their potential for experiencing vaginal orgasms. A strong pelvic floor is a must for vaginal orgasms and opens the potential for vaginal ejaculatory orgasms as well. That's why my wife Venus and I included exercises, including full body movements that have been shown to strengthen this important muscle into our training course. It's really a big part of sexual wellness to have a strong PC muscle. Now, I hope this video helped you gain some awareness of what could be holding you back from experiencing the orgasms that you deserve. If you're interested in learning more, please check out our free quiz on how much you're hitting the gas versus the brakes. And check out our free stillness test over at elevatepassion.com. Be sure to hit that like button below and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you soon.